Song 21. Admonishments to Dharma Wonshu. Obeisance to all gurus. Once in the early part of the last month of autumn, Milarepa and his disciples went to Bushan Chitang for alms. Many people were gathered there. Milarepa said to them, "Patrons, please give me the alms for which I have come." Now among them was a young, well-dressed girl who said, "Dear Yogi, who are you? Who are your father and mother, your brother and sister?" Whereupon the Jetson sang, "I bow down to all holy gurus. Pray grant me your grace and blessings. My father is Kuntung Zampo, the all-perfect one. My mother Drowazungpo, the worthy woman. My brother is called King of Knowledge, my aunt Lamp of Illumination, and my sister Dazzling Faith. My friend is called Natural Wisdom, and my child Son of Illumination. My book is Foundation of the Universe and Manifestation, my horse Mount of Consciousness Prana, and my patrons are the four regions of Wei and Sang. As for me, I am a small white Buddha stupa. I have never practiced singing, yet will I sing clearly for you. My Father, the all-perfect one, earns the wages of knowledge and practice. Never do worldly thoughts arise in him. My mother, worthy woman, always feeds me the milk of pith instructions from her breast. Imbibing the practice teachings, I have never felt hungry. My brother, King of Knowledge, holds within his hand the knife of skill and wisdom, and with it kills wrong views with coarse and fine. My aunt, Lamp of Illumination, displays her mirror of self-mind, unsullied by the rust of habitual thought. My sister, Dazzling Faith, has long been free from meanness. In her practice of devotion, she has goods but does not hold them. What she has, she never hoards. I and my comrade, Natural Wisdom, like one man live together and never raise our voice in strife. My only child, Son of Illumination, is heir and holder of the Buddha's line. I have never raised a child who needed washing or change of diapers. My book, Foundation of Universe and Manifestation, illustrates for me the principles and meanings. Never have I read books with printed words. My horse Mount of Consciousness Prana carries me swiftly wherever I want to go. I never need a horse of flesh and blood. My patrons in the four regions of Wei and Sang offer me provisions when I ask for them. I never weigh or press my bag of flour. When I offer, it is to the precious ones. When I rely, it is upon my own guru. I say that I am white because I practice deeds of whiteness. I say I am small, for few are my desires. Therefore I say I am a stupa, small and white. These sayings are indeed very wonderful, remarked the girl. But do you also have any samsaric companions, sons and belongings? Milarepa sang in reply. At first my experiences in samsara seemed most pleasant and delightful. Later I learned about its lessons. In the end I found a devil's prison. These are my thoughts and feelings on samsara, so I made my mind up to renounce it. At first one's friend is like a smiling angel. Later she turns into a fierce, exasperated woman. But in the end, a demoness is she. These are my thoughts and feelings on companions, so I made my mind up to renounce a friend. At first the sweet boy smiles, a babe of heaven. Later he makes trouble with the neighbours. In the end, he is my creditor and foe. These are my thoughts and feelings about children, so I renounce both sons and nephews. At first, money is like a wish-fulfilling gem. Later, one cannot do without it. In the end, one feels like a penniless beggar. These are my thoughts about feelings and money, so I renounce both wealth and goods. When I think of these experiences, I cannot help but practice Dharma. When I think of Dharma, I cannot help but offer it to others. When death approaches, I shall have then no regret. Hearing the Jetson song, the light of faith was aroused in the girl. She invited Milarepa and his disciples to her house and gave them perfect service and offerings. She was then given the instruction and entered the path. Milarepa and his disciples then went together to Dreze Snow Mountain. One day many patrons came to visit him. Among them there was a well-gifted, aristocratic young man, a descendant of the Jowo family, who had the greatest faith in Milarepa. He said, "Dear Lama, all your doings are inconceivably marvelous. Please grant us a teaching which we can always practice." In response to his request, Milarepa sang, "Listen, all you faithful patrons. When you walk, identify your perceptions with mind essence. This is a self-liberation when you walk. When you sit, relax and be at ease. This is the heart teaching of how to sit. When you sleep, sleep in the realm of equality. This is the way to sleep in the great light. When you eat, eat in the realm of voidness. This is the way to eat without dichotomy. When you drink, drink water of skill and wisdom. This is the way to drink without cessation. When you walk, sit, or sleep, always look at your mind. This is the worthy practice without pause or interruption. We are incompetent people and do not know how to practice these profound teachings, exclaimed the patrons. Oh, those who know how to do so are fortunate indeed, Milarepa replied. When you say you do not know how to practice this teaching, that only means you want to shun it. This is also the very sign of incapability for devotion. If you determine to practice it, you will know how to do it and really understand it. Now listen to the profit of this teaching in my song. My gifted patrons, in the transient flask-like human body, dwells an innate-born Buddhakaya. If one can display the lamp of great light, the outer and inner Dharmakaya will shine brightly. In the samsaric house of complex thought dwells a baby eagle, the Bodhi mind. If once she flaps her wings of wisdom skill, surely she will fly up to the sky of all-knowing. In the victorious snow mountain of self-body dwells a baby lion of consciousness. He who can practice Dharma without clinging to the six consciousness group surely will conquer both samsara and nirvana. On the blind ocean of samsara float the sea-going merchants of the six realms. He who never parts from the Trikaya surely will conquer the raging seas. In the elusive house of the five poisons dwells a group of bandits to prevent one's liberation. He who can hold secure the rope of skill will surely overcome these dreadful outlaws. The absolute body, Dharmakaya, is like the firmament. The wish-fulfilling gem may there be found. He who can meditate on it without distraction surely will attain the Trikaya of Buddhahood. In the cities of the three kingdoms of samsara lie the iron chains that bind us in the six realms. He who can untie them through the Guru's teaching surely will tread the path of liberation. From the gem-like precious Guru springs the fountain of the pith instructions. He who quaffs it with unshaken faith surely will be freed from sinful thirsting. Thus he sang, and the patrons were all confirmed in their belief and departed. But the young aristocrat determined to devote himself to the pursuit of Dharma, thinking, one day I must come to this Lama and offer myself as his servant disciple. Meanwhile, the Jetson and his disciples decided to remain at that place, enjoying the offerings and service from both the human and non-human beings. They worked on furthering their patron's progress until the end of spring. When they were about to return to DC Snow Mountain, the patron gave them a grand festival. Arising from the assembly, the young aristocrat, who had the utmost faith towards Milarepa, said, Dear Lama, I have heard that you, the Dharma practitioner, have the teaching called the view, practice, action, and fruit. Would you please be kind enough to tell us your own experience of them? In answer, Milarepa sang, Because I see the self-face of the view, the thought of contrast by itself dissolves. How then can I have the idea of two, the self and the others? The view is void of limit and discrimination. When in the practice I become absorbed, good and evil are reduced to self-liberation. How then can I practice the idea of two, happiness and suffering? The practice is devoid of limitary feelings and experience. When I adhere to the self-continuance of action, dislike is reduced to self-liberation. How then can I have the impulse of two, craving and inversion? The action is free from limitary attachment. Since self-liberation is the fruit, both nirvana and samsara are reduced to it. How can I then have the idea of two, getting and abandoning? Absence of fear and hope is the fruit of this great practice. The young aristocrat then said to Milarepa, Dear Lama, I have made up my mind to devote myself to the practice of Dharma, but I do not dare to start without the permission of my parents and relatives. Although I will have to ask their permission first, please be kind enough to accept me as your disciple servant and take me with you. Milarepa replied, He who wants to practice the Dharma should think of the miseries of samsara. Then, if he still cannot make up his mind and instead looks for permission or recommendation from others, he will never succeed. Listen to my song. If a pious person who wants to practice Dharma cannot cut off the tie of influence, how can he break through others' domination? If one cannot live on the arms of non-attachment, how can he free himself from the bonds of honour and pride? If, knowing the transiency of all being, he has no sense of contentment, how can he be content with his amassed wealth? How can one understand the truth beyond words by talking and discussing without first-hand experience? How can he who does not realize the truth beyond all symbols describe it with a darkened mind? How can he who shuns not the evils of bad partnership avoid the painful consequences? If one cannot utilize the suffering to further his spiritual growth, how can he overcome all griefs and blind striving? If one knows not that disturbing thoughts themselves are Dharmakaya, how can he reduce them by corrective measures? If one renounces not all concerns and undertakings, how in moderation can he practice his devotion? How can he who does not resign from all activities and cut off all attachments achieve success in Dharma by doing this and that, all by mere thinking? How can he who renounces not all ties practice meditation without worldly thoughts in mind? If he does not renounce at once, how can he hope to do so later? If he thinks he need not strive for improvement now, but can do so later, he must fail. If he does not strengthen now his will, success from hope and expectation will not spring. Upon hearing Milarepa's song, the young aristocrat was deeply moved, and convinced of the truth contained in it. He decided at once to practice the Dharma, and his parents also gave their permission. After serving his apprenticeship with Milarepa, he was given the initiation and pith instructions, and eventually attained success and liberation. He was known as Ngong Repa Dharma Wonshu Shawa, one of the close sons of Milarepa. This is the story of Milarepa meeting his disciple, Repa Dharma Wonshu, at Bushen.